I have a theory.
Thank you.
Oslo's reputation as an expensive city to visit precedes itself, which is pretty much why I've never been before now. But according to this ranking, it's only the 8th most expensive city in Europe. I've noticed Dublin sitting right above it there. Doesn't surprise me, to be honest.
Dublin and Ireland in general is so expensive these days.
So as someone from Ireland visiting Oslo for the Christmas markets, will it even feel expensive? That's what I'm going to find out. We're here for 3 days and we are going to soak up the Christmas vibe, try experiencing Norwegian culture, and as always fit in as much outdoor adventure as possible. By the way,
if you're new here, I'm Erica and I'm all about finding adventure everywhere, from exploring local gems to bucket list destinations, more often than not on a budget. Whether it's hiking, city escapes, or festive markets like this one, I love sharing tips, stories, and inspiration to help you add a little bit more adventure to your own life.
So without further ado, we are kicking things off in a perfectly Norwegian way with a sauna and cold plunge. This place is so cool, and there's like multiple saunas to choose from. So you can kind of go in and out because you get a 90-minute session. There's so many saunas, you can't even really fit them all in 90 minutes. This one, I think you can like go up there and jump off. Not for me today. That was a lot of fun. I think there must be like at least 10 different saunas to choose from. Some of them are like private, so you just have to look for which ones have shared sauna, like a green sign. And there's different sizes, some of them are quiet saunas, some of them are scent free. There's loads of different spots to get in for a cold dip. It was so much fun. We didn't even last the full 90 minutes. I think probably the locals who are doing this really regularly take the full 90 minutes. But such good value and pretty epic way to start our weekend, I think. So we came back to the hotel, grab a cup of coffee, get changed, dressed, drop off our wet bits, you know, before heading out for the rest of the day. We're staying in First Hotel Millennium and the room is pretty small and basic. Nothing special going on. It's a mess, obviously, because there's not much storage, but this is the main selling point, which I think is pretty cool. So we've got little stairs and a door. I really should have put some shoes on so I could show you it properly, but it's a pretty cool view. We're not going to enjoy it right now when it's raining, but really hoping for some snow this weekend while we're here. So that would be nice to have direct access to the snow. We are up and out for the day. We have got 48-hour Oslo passes each, and that gives us 48 hours of public transport within like the central city zones, which is really handy, and a big long list of access to different admissions. So we've come out to this area of Oslo where there are like a number of museums all kind of in the one area, and we're starting here in the Norwegian Museum of Culture. We've also got here basically right as they open at 11, so there's not really anybody else here yet. So we'll have it to ourselves to start with. So the concept is basically like an open air museum. So they have all these different buildings from different time periods through Norwegian history. It's very cool. And I think they also do displays and shows and stuff throughout the days at different time. I'm not sure if we'll be here for any of them. But this is already very cool. It's very cool. It's like a little mini recreated village from some time period, I guess. I'm kind of bad when it comes to museums. I don't read up a lot of the information, I just take it in visually. These buildings are so cool. The rainy, moody day kind of adds to the vibe, I feel. This is very cool. We found some of the buildings that you can actually come into. So So it's like a recreated old house. Very cute. And kind of small. The doorways are pretty small. But this is definitely my kind of museum. We can just walk around, take it in visually, experience it, rather than having to read loads of signs. I don't usually have the patience for that. But I love a good recreation. It's taking us through history, which is fun. And we also just learned that this is actually the world's first open air museum. Makes it that little bit cooler. So we're not off to the best start for the budget with that lunch. It was kind of expensive, but there's not many options around here, so I think that's potentially why. I'm hopeful we'll find cheaper eats in the city itself. But it was really delicious. We got free refills on the coffee and we were the only people there, and it was a very quaint little place. It felt like we were just kind of eating in someone's dining room. It was still really good. And we are now walking out to the next museum. We're going to check out the Kon-Tiki Museum. There are 3 museums: Maritime, Kon-Tiki and Fram, and you can get into all 3 of them with the Oslo Pass. We've got Norway's oldest boat, a boat building workshop, replica of some sort of fancy old boat. Views. We've got scary giant squid, interactive exhibits, my fave, and we've got an art gallery. Into museum number 3, Fram Museum, another boat-based museum. So we're on the boat, which is cool. You actually have, I'm guessing, the real boat, like right here. So with the Oslo Pass, it's definitely worth it. If you get into all 3 of them, you can just pop in and out. Not sure how much they cost individually, so it might not be worth doing that. But so far, we're in for the Oslo Pass. So far, 10 out of 10 for the interactability, I guess, if that's a word, of these museums. Because, like, I'm expecting most of these areas to be off limits and then you're just allowed up here. If you're choosing between the 3 different museums, definitely go for Fram Museum. This is so cool. We're getting to walk through the whole ship. In addition to the normal crew. In order of preference, I would say Fram, Maritime, Kon-Tiki. Only because Kon-Tiki is kind of small. Here's your 3 museums. And then we've got this beautiful view over the water. It's a fjord, I'm pretty sure, right? Pretty sure Oslo sits on a fjord. Beautiful. This island with the colourful houses looks really cute. And then we can see back towards the city. And you can also see some snow on the mountains. It's like 2:30 now, and we've had sauna, 4 museums, and lunch. So I think that's pretty good going. We're leaving this area now, hopping on a bus back and going to a sculpture park. We've made it to the park. There's like a huge sculpture selection within this park from potentially a famous sculptress. Who knows? It is like getting dark already. Sunset's in like 15 minutes. So we'll see how it goes if it gets dark. At least it's not raining anymore. I'm happy with snow or dry. It's not raining. We came out for dinner, we had some delicious pizza, and I think it was pretty reasonably priced, like definitely on par with what we paid in Dublin. And now it's time for the main reason we're here at this time of year, Christmas markets.
enjoying our couple's vlog with a view of the Ferris wheel and the ice rink. Pretty perfect spot for some people watching. Just looking for people to fall.
Pretty good Christmas market, not as big as I would have thought for the main one in Oslo. Reminds me that my main gripe with Christmas markets is they never plan in a system for queuing, so the like pathways where all the stalls are get so hectic so quickly, and it does kind of ruin it for me because it's just too stressful, and then you can't like stroll around nicely and take it all in. And then I think that's a wrap for us for today. Head back to the hotel, chill for a bit, hopefully get a better night's sleep, and then head back out and do more exploring tomorrow. Hopefully see some snow. Even if it doesn't snow here, we have some plans to head up somewhere else and try to get some snow.
Good morning on day 2 in Oslo. I don't think I mentioned it yesterday, but we have breakfast included in our hotel, which is convenient, but also means you don't have to like buy breakfast every morning. We can stock up on a buffet and eat as much as we possibly can, fill our bellies. We're heading out now to find some snow.
That's where we're heading.
It's Saturday morning, so maybe that's why, but it's like real sleepy. There's like nobody around. It's just us. Nobody else is awake in Oslo yet, I guess. It's 9 AM, it's not even that early. But we're about to hop on the metro for the first time. I love cities with metros, just because we don't have one, I guess it's like a novelty.
I'm loving this already. We're like in a snow cloud, I think. The visibility is really low, so I hope it clears because you're meant to have a really nice view of Oslo city from up here. But like the train station just drops you off like basically in a forest. So we hopped on the metro line. We're actually still in Zone 1. Oh my gosh. We're still in Zone 1 of Oslo, which means our Oslo Pass public transport still works for here, which is crazy because I feel like we've just come so far out of the city. We're basically like in a snowy forest. It's so cool. Oh, this is Frognerseteren, maybe? This is how you spell it. But it is a winter wonderland up here. We just kind of doing a walk through the forest. There's a museum we're going to check out, and one other activity that we're not sure if it will be open. But considering how much snow is here right now, I'm crossing my fingers.
Okay, so we've accidentally walked by it, but this was the surprise activity we were hoping for.
There is a 2-kilometer sled route you can do from here, but this is it. It's closed. We thought, according to their website and their Instagram, they might not be open yet, but we were hopeful when we got here because there is enough snow they might have opened, but unfortunately not. But at least we still get to experience all the snow. He's cute.
Just jump in.
Just flew right off my finger.
I'm having the worst luck lately with losing stuff while on holidays. Went to Lisbon and lost all of my footage from it, hence why you don't get to have 3 different YouTube vlogs from that trip. We went to Tenerife and we had our backpack stolen, so like full shebang, phones, wallet, passports, gone. And then just now, because we were just having fun trying to make snowmen, my hand was really cold. I like shook my hand from the cold and this ring just went flying. Thankfully we found it, so I was convinced it was going to be gone because I'm on a bad luck streak. Anywho, we've given up on the snowman because they're handed out too cold. And the museum slash art exhibit is open now, so we're heading back to there. The sign outside says it's, what was it, one of the top 100 attractions in the world or some sort of stat like that, so that should mean it's pretty good. This is another one that's free with the Oslo Pass. So I think we're getting our values worth. So I got a Berliner donut and hot chocolate. This was 42 krone. I don't know how much this is, there was no signs, but I'll calculate it based on the total and put it on the screen. On the pricier side again, but we do think you would basically pay the same in Ireland in some places. And it was an experience, like it's such a cool building, so I think worth it. It just keeps getting more and more beautiful here. I can't get over it. The snow is getting deeper. It's actually snowing slightly now. It's so quiet and peaceful. The only other people we're seeing really are what I'm guessing are locals that are out like cross-country skiing. You can see all of their tracks here. I think that'll be really fun to do there. Out for a little walk, heading kind of downhill to a ski jump. Like a big outdoor ski jump. And there's a museum there too. So go and check that out. I think we know the drill by now. Interactive museums, thumbs up from me. I never realised you could actually come up the ski jumps. This is pretty cool. Especially in the snow, it's very pretty. So the plan was to head to the famous hot dog stand for lunch and get some hot dogs, because online in like videos and guides and stuff people mentioned them having loads of different options for what kind of hot dog, including a veggie dog. But we got there after travelling out towards it and they don't, so maybe they've changed their menu, but they only offer one kind of hot dog now, which is pork, beef and chicken mixed together, and then you can choose different toppings to put on it. So then we had a backup plan, so we got these really tasty wraps, set of falafel wrap, and it was like really big too, filling, so a really good value I reckon. And now we've only just had lunch, it's already getting dark, but we are heading to the Munch museum. So again, included in our Oslo Pass. So we should get in for free. My own piece of art from the museum. Good morning, it's day 3, our final day. it's not a full day. We only actually have a couple hours this morning before we'll need to head to the airport to catch our flight home. But it is the first day that we have little patches of blue sky, so we've got a clearer view, which is quite nice. So our Oslo Pass expires at 10:30 this morning, so we're going to squeeze in at least one more activity before then, and then pretty much after that we'll have to head to the airport. So let's see what we can fit in by then. We're up and out. We got a little second breakfast takeaway from the hotel. And once again, there's nobody around. Oslo is so quiet in the mornings. Most things don't seem to open until 11, which kind of limits us this morning, seeing as our Oslo Pass expires at 10:30 and we need to get to the airport soon after that. Something to bear in mind when you're planning your itinerary. It does mean that it's good to get out and do some of the free outdoor activities early in the morning because there's not many other people around yet. Like when we went up into the snow yesterday morning, it was really quiet. There was very few people there, yes. Fun fact, I actually went to university to do a science degree with the original plan being specialised in zoology. I dropped out after third year, so didn't get there. And I honestly don't think I remember a single thing I learned in any of my courses. But I've always found this kind of thing really interesting. So, even though there's basically only us and families with young kids here right now, I think we're having just as much fun. Probably not my favourite museum of the trip, and definitely not my favourite natural history museum. We've been to better, but there are still some fun interactive elements. I think it's very much geared towards children and actual education for the kids. There's so many families with young kids in there now, but it was nice and it was free with the Oslo Pass. It just right outside it is a botanical garden, so we're going to stroll through them now to gradually make our way back towards Central Station. So we are on the train back to the airport. I thought it'd be interesting to calculate how much money we ended up saving because we used the Oslo Pass. So for the 48-hour Oslo Pass we paid 760 krone, and I've added up all of the attractions and the exhibits that we went into for their full price, plus what we would likely pay for 48 hours of public transport across 2 zones. And that comes to a savings of 842 krone, which comes out to around about €70, which is a huge savings in my opinion. Would we have travelled slightly differently without the Oslo Pass? Probably. We just probably wouldn't have got into as many museums, but I think for travelling at this time of year, it's really good to go into museums, to get out of the cold weather and the rain and the snow. And also we just learned loads. They were really good museums. If I was going to do that many museums in any city, I would do it in Oslo because their museums are really, really good and really interactive. Basically every single museum we went into was very interactive. So highly recommend taking that option when visiting Oslo. So on the train here, I added up everything we spent, keeping track of all of the prices of everything, and my total came to 2,886 krone, which works out just under €250. So I think for a whole weekend, so that's food, activities, transport, drinks, everything included, I think that's a pretty good price. I also think you could do it cheaper. You could not have drinks, you could find cheaper food, you could get cheaper lunches by going to a supermarket and getting a cheap sandwich or something there. But I think a budget in Oslo is possible.
Let me know what you think. Do you think is that more or less expensive than you expected?
So the two things I didn't include in that calculation were our flights and accommodation. So we got really cheap flights, €73 return for Norwegian Airways, and I was finding those flights in the first place. That is why we booked this trip. And then our hotel or accommodation was 4,700 krone for 2 people for 3 nights. And I think there's no point me including them in my total because they are going to vary so much based on so many different factors. Where you're flying to and from, how many people you're traveling with, what are your priorities for accommodation, so you can find stuff out there yourself. You could find accommodation cheaper than what we paid potentially, and you could also probably spend way more on accommodation at the same time. But hopefully that's helpful overall, giving you an idea of how much it can cost.
If you're thinking of visiting Oslo, especially around the holidays, I hope this video gives you some ideas of how to make it affordable and fun. Let me know in the comments what you do if you visited, or if you've already been, share your best budget tips. And while you're here, why not watch my last adventure to Tenerife here, or hit subscribe and stay tuned for the rest of my festive adventures in December. Have a great week, and I'll catch you in the next adventure.